The following podcast is an RMG Media production.
Tickets are on sale now. I'm so excited. Get ready to unleash your potential, ignite your business, and connect with trailblazers. The Renaissance Women Summit is back on February 24th in Nashville, Tennessee. Our summit is so much more than just a gathering of successful women. It is a powerful movement that aims to uplift and empower all women. Our highly anticipated third annual conference is a value-packed one-day event featuring unparalleled networking opportunities, enlightening panels, interactive workshops, and inspiring keynotes led by top-notch entrepreneurs and female leaders. You'll acquire the indispensable knowledge and insights needed to become a true Renaissance woman in the business world. Tickets are on sale now. You can get them at therenaissancewomensummit.com. We'll see you there. Welcome to the Renaissance Podcast, a podcast for Renaissance women
and men
who want to create a modern-day Renaissance in their life and business.
We interview some of the most successful entrepreneurs and share their unique stories.
Are you ready to create your Renaissance? Tracy Litt is in Nashville.
Whoop, whoop.
She's here. Our OG Renaissance listeners will remember her from the first annual Renaissance Women's Summit in 2022, which feels a lot longer ago than it was. Mm-hmm. Or was that 2021?
No, I think it was 20.
Oh my God. No, it was 2022.
Yeah.
Because we just had
22, because we were all locked up for many years. That's why they're like having a concept of time feels impossible.
Yeah, what is time?
Nothing, actually. We could go down that road if you want to go there fast.
Let's just start there.
We are time.
No. Yeah, we are time.
Yes, we are.
So you are one of my favorite people. You are such a brilliant entrepreneur, such a light. You unpack things in a way that just, I'm not the only one, but just really resonates, and light bulb moments for me, just listening to your podcast, watching you speak on stages. You have this way of just like truly connecting, and it's like such a gift. And your current season of the podcast is the long game.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
We talk a lot on this show about the long game, and with our clients in social media marketing, that it is the long game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd love to start with kind of why that was kind of this season's title and what that means to you and what that means to our audience of entrepreneurs.
Oof. Okay. So there's I love it. There's so much inside of this, but let's start with, if you are committed to doing meaningful legacy work in this world, adopting the long game lens is an imperative, okay? Because you're going to fail. Things are going to sometimes take longer than you think, sometimes shorter. Things are going to go your way. Things aren't going to go your way. You're going to have nights where you're fetal position, snot bubble crying. You're going to have days where you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. The natural rolling hill of the entrepreneurial journey, because that's the truth. A lot of things in our space, in our society, online, want to make you believe that it's this like, grab your laptop, work from Bali, straight shot to the top. It's not truth. And that was my catalyst for the series was, number one, women entrepreneurs are going to change this world, period. And when you are given the truth of what it takes, when you hear accounts of other extraordinarily successful entrepreneurs, like the ones you look at and you go, oh, but look at what she's doing, and you hear how many times they failed and what they did to work on themselves and what it means to be detached, okay, which we need to talk about, like being detached to the outcomes. And it's not about the last client that hired you or how good the last launch went or whether or not you got that speaking gig or you didn't. It is vision or bust. It is eye on the prize. It is staying connecting to the calling in your heart and the knowing, not the knowing when you're like in your head, you're like, I know that. No, like I know, like I know, like I know, like I know. My whole body knows that I am here to make a difference. And I'm not going to let any outcome, any result, any failure interfere with that path. And that's what it means to play the long game.
I think that was the gospel that was just spoken. If you are an entrepreneur, you felt that to your core. I feel that to my core.
I can feel it because I can feel your body and I can sense the emotion that we're exchanging right now, right? Like it's not about a quick rise because then you'll have a hard fall, right? So it's like I'm here to speak to the women who want a holistically successful life. Who don't want to just bury themselves in their business because they're trying to gain XYZ followers or this outcome. What's the point of building something beautiful if you're missing out on your life every day on the way there? You have a beautiful baby, but you want to just work yourself to death? No, we need to shake the whole thing up and really recognize patience and trust and experimentation, which is another big part of the long game. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I tell my clients this all the time. I have no idea. I'm just trying it on. And I'm willing to then flop or succeed, right? And gain the data to play, to be curious, because then I'm feeling good internally. And this is an inner environment game in entrepreneurship, which is another thing they don't tell us when they sell us on this concept of pop up a website or make some offers. This is a personal evolution journey that no one told you were about to have. And that is about your inner environment and your ability to evolve your identity while you're showing up for your impact in the world.
Man, we're a special breed.
We are. I mean, that's the thing about whoever's listening with us right now, you're killing it because you're making something out of nothing. And that is badass. Right? Think about just there's a word in Yiddish, I'm Jewish, called chutzpah, right? It's like courage, like balls. Like you have the chutzpah to say, watch me. I'm going to bet on myself, right? I am going to allow myself to embody the long game because this is my calling. This is what I'm here to do.
And I've heard you talk on the show too about kind of figuring out when it's maybe not the long game, when you're in it, but it's maybe your calling is something else. Like, and I've heard you kind of speak on that a little bit. Can you talk on like when maybe it's not? Maybe people are listening going, I don't know if I have that feeling. I feel it. And I feel like if you're listening right now, you'll know if you have it or if you don't.
Yeah. And there's a few things. I want to invite you to continue to be with us in your body.
Yeah.
Right? So don't listen cognitively. Let your body sense and feel the dialogue, and the clarity will come upon you because you'll recognize like that, oh, yes, feeling, which can only be communicated in the body, right?
That's
or
right.
That resistance.
Right.
The place I would want you to start is getting in touch with what is your why deeply. And are you fulfilling your dream or somebody else's? That's where we have to start to really ascertain, like, do I want what I say I want? We have to back up to where did it come from? Why are you doing it? Is there proving energy in there? You trying to stick it to somebody who told you couldn't, which, by the way, is a non-starter. It's just no. And I need to say this too, because there are a lot of people in the space that will be like, show them what you're capable of, right? Like whatever naysayers, show up and no. Energetically, that is the opposite of where we need to be, because that means that you are continuing to abdicate your power to that moment, that circumstance, whether it was that teacher or coach that told you couldn't do it, or that boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the situation is.
Negative.
It's negative. It's low level. your consciousness is on the floor
Right.
when you are doing that, right? So that's another thing though, checking in. Oh my God, am I continuing to try to build this thing because once I do, then I can turn around and show them what's what? Nope. And it doesn't mean that your vision isn't aligned. We just need to rejig where you're coming from.
Yeah. So that's like a mental practice, right? Like, I think you're really in your truth if you've had horrible things happen to you and, maybe a business partner breakup or something that's happened to me in the last year. But I'm so not worried about that person. I'm just living my truth because I love this truth and I love this path that I'm on so deeply. And you just so articulated the deep, crazy love that I have for this journey. But I do think when you're living in that moment, you're on your right path. You're not worrying about trying to spite somebody else. Mm-hmm. You're just going. Yeah. And they may be trying to spite you, but you got to just put those blinders on.
Yeah. And send them love.
Yeah. Yeah.
The answer is pour love on it.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Feel that in your body, because my body even felt that. Pour love on it.
Yeah.
Judgment, comparison, meanness, being vindictive, allowing your beautiful energy to be depleted by the amount of minutes you spend thinking about that instance or that betrayal or whatever it is. It just doesn't matter. Because you know what it's doing? It's taking your focus and attention away from vision or bust. And it's interesting because your mind and body really enjoy it because it feeds some emotional addictions that you have that you're not aware of. And it's stopping you from experiencing your dreams in reality, which really works for your mind, body, and your system. Because you getting to that next level is like a big hell no for your mind, body, and your nervous system, right? So the more you can spin out in things that are actually disempowering, your system is winning, but your next level is losing. It's really important.
What are some of the mental practices that we can do as business owners to stay the path? I know.
So rich. Well, this is the core of our work, right? So the Litt Factor specializes in personal growth and ascension for women entrepreneurs. We do identity evolution work, right? Which means you are a spiritual, energetic being having a human experience, and we leverage that scientific truth in a methodology for you to literally evolve out of your current level of mind, your current program, your current belief structure, the energy you're emitting, the stories you tell yourself, the actions you are or are not taking, right? Evolved into the next level of your identity, which has to happen, okay? You cannot not be working on yourself while you're growing your business. If I could say anything to every entrepreneur in the world is, the second you decide to become an entrepreneur, you need to actively be invested in your own growth. They are two lanes that run simultaneously together, okay? Because if you do not do that, you are making your entrepreneurial success exponentially more challenging, because you're just going to bring your traumas and your low-level perspectives and your perceived limitations right into your business. You're going to keep conflating your worth with your business, right? And I need to say this because this whole concept came through in a retreat I ran for our Ascend group. It's our high-level collective of entrepreneurs. And I said to them, it was like a hit. We were having a nighttime chat and it came right through. And I said, okay, so your business is this entity, right? It's this beautiful entity. It is not you, right? And even for you or me, who are technically like the face of the brand, Tracy Litt is not the company. Sydney is not the company. You have given rise to this beautiful company that has a soul, that wants to express itself in a certain way, that has grand ideas, that is so excited to make offers, that wants to sell because every time the company sells something, it makes someone's life better, that loves team. And here you come, if you're not really working on yourself, and you just keep prohibiting the success of your company by inserting yourself. But I don't know if I'm enough. I don't know if I can go live. I feel afraid about this. And I'm not saying those things aren't true. They are. That's the core of our work. And if you don't choose to do the work, then you are going to continuously conflate your worth into your business, prohibiting it from being successful. I'm going to pause there. What comes through for you when I start to share this with you as a business owner?
I think about my team a lot.
Okay.
I think about the mind fuck of leadership.
Yes. So the mind fuck of day to day in general.
I think about the evolution of me in my later 20s, coming into my early 30s, and how I've changed and evolved so much as a leader, and how you said something earlier about like love and just pouring love on it. And when I don't even know really what I've done in the last year or two on myself. I know I've been working.
Yeah.
We've been working on her.
Yeah.
Motherhood definitely was a
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But I think about nurturing a group of young people that are just trying to, grow in their careers and grow in themselves personally, and that they're such an integral part of this business. And but the fear that I have of retaining and keeping them happy, and I don't know. I think I always go to them a little bit because I think that they feel like my kids a little bit.
What do you mean by go to them?
My mind goes to how to continuing to keep them happy, really. And that feels like a big part of this journey.
Yeah.
Because I can't do this without them, you know?
Oh, I totally know. And team is everything. There is no world where I am who I am today without my team. Like no world. Nobody does anything fabulous alone. Solopreneur is the worst phrase that ever came out, ever. All of it. Mompreneur, all of it. Please stop doing that. Please stop. Please. Okay. It's beautiful that that's your intention because you're spot on. Your team becomes your client. And then the team gets to focus on the clients. Right?
That's right.
And it's Renaissance Women's Summit that is responsible for that. I want you to start to like untether, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Sydney as your individual, your wholeness, your stuff. You're like, no. Renaissance Women's Summit and my job inside as the CEO and leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how our company prioritizes our people. This is how our company loves our team.
Yeah.
Right? And this is really big because you use the words keep them happy. Let's lose that because you can't.
Yeah, right. That's a force that you can't.
That's their personal responsibility.
Right.
Right? You can deliver, you can honor, you can ask them what motivates each one of them intrinsically. You can ask like what kind of things, because for one person, a spa day would be like, oh my God, what an amazing bonus. And for someone else, it's like a airplane ticket to see their family they haven't seen. And somebody else, it's like cold hard cash. And somebody else, it's like, just praise me.
Right.
Figuring out what their motivators are, right? But they're responsible for making themselves happy. And why I'm sitting on that language is because language, you asked about mental exercises. Language is a whole week we spend on language inside of Mind Magic because it's that essential to reflecting what you really believe and think and creating your lived experience. Your language does two things. It tells me what you believe, and it also sets out into the universe what you're going to create.
Right.
So when you say to yourself to make them happy, would you agree that it creates a tightness in your body?
Yeah.
And what we want to bring for you is an expansiveness.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's a tightness, I think, from past trauma.
Totally.
Totally.
Because somewhere inside of you, you believe you have to make people happy to be enough.
I always say on the show, I'm working on the people pleaser in me.
Yes, and it's beautiful. We all are. We all have some mine was control. My adaptive behavior was control. I used to believe that I had to control everything to be loved. I had to control everything to be seen. And that came from being a middle child with no big T trauma even, just the just kind of being shuffled around in my life and feeling really unseen unintentionally by my mother, who was amazing, right? But I had created this belief like, okay, well, I'm just going to control everything and I'm going to be the one that's on top of it. And I'm going to be really, really responsible, because when I do that, I get recognition. When I do that, I get praise. When I do that, I get love. So you know what I decided as a young person, because we make all these decisions as we grow up and they become our program. I'm going to control everything. And when I do, then I'm good enough.
Wow.
Right.
How did you find that revelation? I mean, was it through the entrepreneurial journey that you've unpacked?
Yes, that's why I'm telling you guys, I need everyone. I need every entrepreneur. Please, 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 please don't make your personal growth and ascension work a luxury. Please, 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 please don't think that strategy is the first play. All of it is beautiful and all of it is necessary, but the lever you need to pull is the lever of working on yourself.
That's
right?
the unlock, yeah.
Right, because even if we look at that, so had I continued to operate with that disempowering belief, which was rooted in I am not enough, then I would not be who I am. Because how can I show up? How can I be visible? How can I be bold? How can I, do everything that I have done and write a best-selling book and do a TED Talk and show up and I am the way I am because I operate from my wholeness, because I know with every fiber of my being that my wholeness is my birthright. And any part of the unworthiness, this I'm not enough game that we're all playing, that's the bullshit. That's the lie. That's the thing that keeps you feeling stuck. That's the thing that keeps you tethered to your past, and you keep trying to create a new future, but you can't because you're feeding your emotional addictions. And it's this whole loop.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
you're speaking to my soul.
I'm so glad, because this is why I'm on this earth. I'm the vessel. I know it like I know it, like I know it, right?
Yeah.
Because we need more women rising. We need more female founders showing up unabashedly themselves, which, side note, that's the fastest way to grow your business. Be fully self-expressed, but you can't be fully self-expressed if you're fighting with your own enoughness.
Just keeps going like that.
Well, that's a pickle, right?
Right.
So yes, it was the entrepreneurial journey, right? So my dark nights of the soul started to happen prior to, that started to be this kind of a little bit of a movement in my body starting to wake me up when I became a single mother with my daughter. And, that was the first, she was 8 months old. Things that you're like, no little girl grows up to want to experience this. And it's that moment that started okay, this is interesting. Why are you trying to squeeze a round hole into a square peg? You got yourself here because you didn't honor yourself. Oh, wow, because I had worth issues. What are worth issues? Oh, okay. It's every time you become more aware, you become more conscious. And then you can start to do something, because new levels of awareness is like taking something you cannot see and going like this, like we're doing right now. And then you're like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. The key is to do growth, which is how we bring it to the world, through higher consciousness, meaning you don't come to do your growth and ascension journey in your beautiful entrepreneurial self from a place of needing to be fixed, or from a place of feeling broken, or from a place of saying, well, if I can just get this done with myself, then I'll fix that problem, because then you're really being problem focused. It's like trying to ascend while you're in quicksand. It doesn't work, right? So to be able to do it non-judgmentally through that higher level of curiosity. So not beating yourself up when you realize through the lens of this conversation, oh my God, I'm totally measuring my personal worth by the number of followers I have. Wow. So when you have a notice moment like that, it's not the time to go, my God, I can't believe this. What's wrong with me? Maybe I shouldn't be an entrepreneur. No, that's just the mind. And the mind is untrustworthy. Right? It's for you to go, I'm so glad I tuned into this conversation. I'm so glad I have new awareness. And with awareness becomes everything and anything you've ever said you wanted, right? Because once we notice, we can make a new choice.
And stop beating yourself up.
Oh,
what happened?
It is so rampant and so unacceptable and so unnecessary and so unhealthy. I am at a point in my career where I'm angry about it, because we need to be having a more elevated conversation. And if you, meaning you, women in the world, like, how many more times do you need to hear, put your oxygen mask on first before you put it on a child? I can't. How many more times do you need to hear, you cannot fill from an empty cup? How many more times do you need to hear, don't be mean to yourself? Like, you know what I mean? And I get it. I do transformation. We do proven transformation as a living, and it starts with decision. So how much longer are you going to let the call come from inside the house? How much longer are you, listen to the insanity, how much longer are you going to be against yourself? Make it make sense to me. I need things to make sense. Makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. It makes absolutely no sense why you would do that and not use those things as a resource to grow.
Yeah. And I actually want to speak to why, because I want to give perspective on where does it come from, because I'm being empathetic, but I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. That's one of the things our clients love about our company. I don't talk to you in the version of you that comes to me. I'm talking to the version of you that we're becoming, and I'm holding space for that, and I am holding belief for that and knowing until you're like, oh, I got it, I got the reins, and then I can let go, right? It comes from the society and culture. It comes from the patriarchal world we live in. It comes from the fact that your mother and your grandmother and your great-grandmother, didn't feel their feelings and hid from themselves and were conditioned to be less than a man, right? It comes from what they modeled. It comes from watching your mother say, oh my God, I just feel like shit today. Or from hearing your mother talk to her friend and talk shit about somebody else, because complaining is such a common act. And then you start to learn judgment, right? And then you start to judge yourself, and then the things that happen, blah, blah, blah. So it's all, and it's ego, and your ego is meant for protection. So there's plenty, I could give you all the science and background on why it happens. And I don't care. You have all the power. You have to make a decision, and a decision, when it's actually a decision, not like I'll try, means to cut yourself off from anything but which you decided. So the decision could be, okay, I decided that I'm going to become aware when my mind is being mean to me. And I'm going to pause, and I'm going to say, no, thank you. We just like, don't give it airtime, right? Because in anything we do, whether we're working on your wealth, or we're working on your receivership, or we're working on your energy, or we're working on, your relationships, you decide once. And then you do the work again and 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 again until you become it. Because the game is embody it until you become it.
Man, this is really like hitting home. And I feel like so many of our listeners right now are like nodding their head. It couldn't be more true. And this season I'm in is like, in order to be the best I can be, I've got to work on me. I've got to commit to me. And my birthing of my entrepreneurial journey came from a sabbatical season in my life, which is kind of interesting. And it just goes with everything that you're saying. When I finally was like, oh, I'm going to say no to that abuse that I went through in a previous job. And I'm going to say that's ridiculous. And I deserve so much more to that. And I'm going to commit to myself. And took 4 months to go vegan and live my eat, pray, love life. And it just, for the first time in my life, I gave back to me for the first time. And the people pleaser was like, whoa, who is she? And all of a sudden, this renaissance, which is why I named the company this, was born. So when I think about you, what does, your renaissance life look like? What is a renaissance life for you when it comes to entrepreneurship and just living and being?
Oh, what a great question. It's a life of generosity. It's a life of personally prioritizing my energy, which I drill down to how many hours of the day can I spend feeling the way that I want to feel inside myself? Because that's when everybody wins. Every student, every client, every community member, my daughters, my husband, my sisters, my friends. When everyone can realize that the definition of success we've been delivered is so fucked. It's so fucked. It's so old school. It's so not cool. And adopt what we are bringing to this world, right? And every day I am screaming from the rooftops. We are serving, we are showing up. Success needs to be holistic. We need a broader, beautiful definition. And it starts with how many hours of the day are you feeling the way you desire to feel? Because do you want to get to your deathbed and be like, well, I was really stressed out. I was super overwhelmed. I was pressurized. I felt a lot of anxiety. There were some false hints of happiness in there that were all dependent on what was going on outside of me. So when my kids slept and my spouse wasn't a dick and my clients all were successful and I got the speaking gig and it was sunny out and there was unicorns and they were shitting sprinkles and like, that's when you have these moments of joy and happiness. And it's not external, it's internal. So to me, really, as I'm answering the question, the answer is more clear. It's helping the world understand that it's an inside job and what that actually means in a practical way.
I love this. I feel like there's such a great energy in this space right now. Just like, hopefully you guys can feel it through the mic.
I know you can.
Yeah. To kind of shift.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the gala.
Oh, yay.
Because this episode's coming out end of August, so we're a month out.
Yes. What's happening?
What's happening? This is major.
It is.
And Brielle and I have been talking about this for a long time, and she's super excited. So tell us all about it.
Yes. So the Consciousness Revolution Gala. So let me start by saying the conversation we've already been having, this is a higher conscious conversation. When highly conscious women come together, we go here. We go here. Think about the richness. Feel the richness, like the connection we're having right now. Like I could just crawl into your lap and just, hug you and be held, right?
Yes.
It's connection. It's openness. It's vulnerability. It's meaning.
Yeah.
Right? So the Consciousness Revolution Gala started because consciousness deserves a party. And I love parties. I used to be an event planner before Taylor was born. This is 1,000 years ago. I have a thing for events, and nothing brings me more joy than being in person. Like being here with you, like I can touch you, we hug, we can be together. That is what the world needs the most. And not false sense of connection, like I was sitting in the room, but actually allowing yourself to be seen and heard. It's one thing to be looked at. It's another thing to let yourself be seen, which we're both doing so beautifully. So a party for consciousness that is also underpinned by this massive, massive evolution of the Litt factor. So I have been evolving exponentially. And this is also really important. Let me give a sidebar to entrepreneurs. As you evolve, so will your company. As you evolve, so will how you show up in business. As you evolve, so will your offerings. And I just need to give everyone a wide permission slip for that, because it would be weird for you to evolve and become different and everything that you're creative on to stay the same. Right? But sometimes it gets over, I don't know, what's it going to affect? It's like, no, it's part of the long game. Healthy attrition with your clientele is a thing, right? Allowing yourself to be in alignment is important. So we've been working on for over a year this brand new entity, and it is our new contribution to the next stages of human and spiritual development for women leaders and entrepreneurs everywhere. And I knew I wanted to debut it in a way that felt amazing and felt big and felt so fun. Like I was talking to my sister who lives in Nashville. She picked me up last night and she's coming to the gala and she's talking about it. And I was like, it's just going to be so much fun. And we're going to do this and we're going to do this. So that was kind of the inspiration for it. And at that point, great, we're going to do a gala. So I then decided I'd like to share a stage with someone. But there's only one person that I'm really willing to share this stage keynote with. And it's Marianne Williamson.
Casual.
Casual. No biggie, like if you know her, you already reacted to that. If you don't know her, she is one of the most renowned spiritual advisors and thought leaders. She has been in this space for 5 decades. She has written multiple New York Times bestsellers. She has been Oprah's advisor for 20-something years. And she, at the core, teaches our society how to shift from a thought system of fear to a thought system of love. And nothing felt more aligned than that.
No one is more aligned with you than that.
Because consciousness, there are levels of consciousness. And when you are really operating at a high level of consciousness, you're prioritizing the frequency of love. You realize that in the highest level of consciousness, you are derived from the same thing that the sun and the moon and the stars and the atoms are, which means you are pure love. You are inherently whole, right? And that's what it means to elevate your consciousness, because think about who we be and how we act when we're coming from that place and operating from that place. So the conscious, yes, thank you. Thank you. So the gala is happening September 29th. And it is a combination of programming with myself and Marianne, keynotes, consciousness workshop, quantum meditation, and we will be debuting our next contribution of human and spiritual development, and then partying, drinks, dinner, DJ, prizes, gifts, and a lot of conscious connecting too. So I've been really intentional in pulling things together so that people can have meaningful conversation like this, right? So you're not at a party and just like, what do you do? But like, how do you really engage someone? And we're doing in the room and virtual. So for all of you listening to us right now, grab virtual tickets and have a party. Right? Stream it, put it on your TV, invite your friends, be present with us, because it's just going to be extraordinary. And one other big piece of this that I'm super pumped about. So the Litt Factor, we're global catalyst partners for Inner Science Research Fund. Inner Science Research Fund is a nonprofit fund that is doing the most jaw-dropping research on the biological and physiological effects of meditation on healing and human potential. The scientific, indisputable data that they are delivering is going to change the way people understand themselves, the mind-body connection, and their ability to heal themselves, make themselves healthy, wealthy, right, and access their unlimitedness. Like, we need more data to shift belief. Right? Think about what it is like changing someone's belief system, or when you come up against someone's belief system, it's like, nope, you go right into protection. So when we can deliver more here, this is a coffee mug, okay, here. And we continue to do that, we expand society because we can't argue with that. It might take you a little while to understand it, but it is scientifically truth, and it is now in front of you, and that allows people to see with new eyes. It's really important.
I think you're changing the world with this whole evolution, with this whole system. I think everyone needs this, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Everyone needs this knowing and these practices. Like,
thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to make our world a kinder, more progressive place. Yeah. A more loving place, a more highly conscious place.
I'm curious, and I'm sure everyone listening is curious. How do you go about your day? Can you tell us like a little bit through some of these consciousness practices maybe that you implement? Like, I just want to know, what does Tracy Litt's day look like?
Yeah.
I know you sing in the shower, which I love.
I sing everywhere. Literally everywhere.
I love that.
Even at our powerhouse retreat, we always have a PJ karaoke night. Because, and you know what's so funny about that also for any of you who are like, oh, I'm an introvert, I didn't think I'd do karaoke. You will. Like, I can't begin to tell you how many clients come and like, I don't know, I'm going to do karaoke. And then I'm like ripping the microphone out of their hand, you know, which is also proof of like who you've been is zero indication of who you're capable of becoming. Stop limiting yourself, right? Just allow yourself to be open, because most introverts actually enjoy extroversion, right? It's just more of like a fear thing. So what is my day? It's a little different all the time. I wake up a few days a week. I wake up early and I get on my bike at 6:30 in the morning, like my actual physical bicycle, like on the road. And I ride to the gym, which I told my husband recently, the gym is just like a reason to ride the bike. What I really realized I love is getting on my bike.
It's the journey.
It is because I love riding my bike, and it brings me to when I was a little girl, I wanted independence my whole life. So when I would ride my bike when I was little, I would feel like Kate Winslet on the tip of the Titanic, right? Like so free. But I would also pretend I was driving. So when I'd hit a stop sign, I would stop my bike and I would make the clicker noise and I would go.
That's amazing.
I pretend I was driving a car. So when I get on my bike, I feel like I'm 7 and I'm just like, yes. And I'm driving up and down on the sidewalk, like these major streets, and I'm waving to cars in the morning and I'm throwing out hearts because I also have mastered riding my bike with no arms, with no hands again. Okay, we talk about having a good time. I'm just having a good time.
Just living it.
You know, giving thumbs up, and some cars are like, who's this crazy bitch? And other cars are like honking at me, and they're like, you made my day. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just so great. Just pour love, right?
Connection.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Yes.
So that, and then there's always meditation and Kundalini in my day as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean like I wake up and I do it,
right,
but there always is. And I don't do anything before 10:30 in the morning. So note, the outside world does not get my attention. I don't do client sessions or group coaching or interviews or anything like that until I have been with myself. So that's really core. And then throughout the day, this is a really big deal. I want to start to invite you to make sure you're paying attention to your body. When is it a little tight? When is it feeling expansive? So throughout the day, I will walk away intentionally from my desk. Like if I'm feeling any little tinge or tightness, go outside, put my feet in the grass, right? Get outside intermittently throughout the day, stand up from my desk, move my body, shake a little bit, stretch a little bit, throw a song on in my headphones, like 3.5 minutes, and like Push It by Salt and Peppa, and just get it on with myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because that's essential to your energy and to your ability to really, really show up. And that's like totally integrated into my day. And then, yeah.
Everyone that's come on this show that's a successful entrepreneur like you has said something similar. I'm always interested in daily routines and what the day looks like. And they're all very similar of I practice meditation, I work out, I have self-time.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
It's so important. It's so important. And in Mind Magic, which is the core, the beginning level 1, if you will, of our work, we do a very special morning magic protocol, right? That really involves that, because it's important to be taught. And it's really about when I'm doing meditation on myself, or when one of our clients is doing meditation, it's guided. So it's me. It's like really, and it's got brainwave sounds and beats in the background that's dropping your brainwaves. And I'm taking you out of who you've been, and you're transcending into your next level. And what we're doing is we're teaching your body how to be reconditioned to the emotions of your future. So it's like you're leaving the self and the current, and you are going there so you can then, with your eyes open for the rest of the day, embody that version of you and bring yourself back to that emotional state.
Wow. Yeah. So many nuggets here. This has been felt like just a therapy session for me. So thank you. I hope everyone listening is like, going into the rest of their day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on our show. Everyone needs to get a virtual ticket to the gala.
Oh, yes.
September 29th.
September 29th. So I think we're at like 20 left in the room. So if you're like, oh, I'm coming in the room, please, please, please come grab it. You can go to the consciousnessrevolutiongala.com. And if not, virtual. It's going to be magical. We're also doing like separate giveaway door prizes for our virtual people. Like we're really paying attention to both groups of people. And what would be more fun on a Friday night? Invite a bunch of people over, bring your clients together, right? Like really get creative. This is an opportunity. You are going to experience massive opening in your heart chakra. You're going to experience joy and bliss. You're going to be inspired and creative. You're going to go beyond what you currently think is possible, right? And you're going to meet a bunch of other people that are highly conscious, which always, always leads to support, rising, and collaboration. And the virtual ticket's $100. Like, what are we talking about here?
It's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where can everyone follow you, get in touch, work with you?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to want to work with you.
Yes, and we're ready for you. The best place to go is Instagram right now. That is where we are the most active. It's at The Litt Factor. So it's lit with 2 T's, and come hang there. And there's a lot of magical stuff coming with the debut of this new thing which also yay me, because I'm not a great secret keeper in my own perceived story. The fact that we have been working on this thing for a year, and you're going to flip out.
I'm so excited.
And I haven't told anyone. So the reason why I want you to come hang on Instagram is because you're not going to miss anything. You're going to see the unveilings. You're going to be aware. We're doing there's like a 4-day live online event we're doing right before the gala that you can participate. It's just like a lot of fun action going on. So come hang there.
It's going to be so good. And I know that it's going to be so good because you are like you would attend this if you weren't you, and I can feel that.
I need to recognize you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I say, I'm like, can someone can someone make a tower house so I can attend? Can someone create something like this so I can attend? Which, listen, I love being a visionary. I know I am gifted and I'm thrilled to bring it, but that's exactly right. And that's how I build. I build through, and this is important, just one more thing for our entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Build through the experience of the client. Build through the user. Don't think about you. So when I put something together, whether it's a live event, the gala, a group program, I put myself, like I go into my body, I meditate into like, okay, how does this person feel when they say yes? And then what do they get next? And then how does this happen? And then what are we doing extra? And like spoil your clients. Be so generous. The next level of you doesn't chintz. If you're doing an event, you don't go, oh my God, well, I'll take these cheaper bags because of this reason, or I don't know if I should include that. But no. Abundance is the truth of who you are. And abundance begets abundance, right? So really doing that and going, well, where would I want to go? What would I want to experience will make a red carpet client journey through and through.
Build through the experience of the consumer.
Correct.
And that can work to anything you're doing.
Anything, every business, whether your product or services, consulting, brick and mortar, online. Retention is not about retention. Retention is about client experience.
I love that, because my mind is going with so many ways you can apply that. You can apply that to your marketing. You can apply that to, what do you want your end user to experience from your Instagram through, that's a broad, brilliant quote. We need to put that in a quote graphic to promote this episode.
I love it. Let's do it all.
My marketing brain goes. Tracy, thank you. You're a light. You're a sister. You're amazing. You're a mom. You're a badass entrepreneur.
You.
And the world is so lucky to have you. And I feel very, very lucky that our audience is getting to consume this. And this has already been my favorite episode. So thank you so much for coming on this show. And I know I'm going to see you soon, and we're going to do magical things together.
Yeah, you're going to become a mind magician. That's what's next for you.
I'm into that.
That's it. Mind magic is the identity evolution methodology that every woman entrepreneur needs to come through. I guarantee you will not recognize yourself. I will guarantee you.
I love that. That's what it's all about.
It is.
Evolve, girls.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.